8 of them. Look on the ASA. Oh, got it! Woohoo! My gosh.
The U.S. Navy has finally acknowledged that videos appearing to show UFOs flying through the air are real. They don't call them UFOs, they call them unidentified aerial phenomena.
The U.S. Navy just made a stunning admission.
A stunning statement.
And a stunning admission by the U.S. Navy. UFOs are for real.
Yeah, this statement by the Navy is startling. It was done in response to what the Navy says is an increasing number of intrusions of our airspace by unknown craft. It comes after 15 months of conflicting statements from the Pentagon about secret UFO research.
We know that UFOs exist. This is not no longer an issue. The Navy itself has publicly acknowledged the fact that they exist.
Obviously, these are billion-dollar assets, and if the official position of the most powerful Navy in the world is, frankly, little more than, we don't know what this is, I don't think that's good enough.
Both of us, both airplanes, see a disturbance in the water and a white 40-foot long tic-tac shaped object just hovering above the water, going forward, back, left, right. There's no rotor wash, there's no wings, nothing. And as I get within about a half mile of it, it rapidly accelerates to the south in about 2 seconds and disappears. This was extremely abrupt, like a ping pong ball bouncing off a wall. The ability to hover over the water and then start a vertical climb from basically 0 up towards about 12,000 feet and then accelerate in less than 2 seconds and disappear is something I had never seen in my life. I believe, as do the other folks that were on the flight, that when we visually saw it, that it was something not from this world.
We are well beyond right now establishing whether or not these things exist. It is an absolute fact that they are there. There is very compelling evidence that we may not be alone.
It's hard to understand, how do these vehicles maintain lift? How are they propelled? There are no wing surfaces, there's no exhaust. So there's nothing that we're familiar with that we've deployed in the air that has a power source other than chemical energy like fuel. These are so radically different than anything we're familiar with, and their performance is so advanced and so sophisticated, it's frankly just baffling.
So is it fair to boil it down to two possibilities? Either another country has leapfrogged the United States in technology, or extraterrestrial?
Those are the leading hypotheses, yes.
Well, these objects kept coming over at flying the same kind of formation that we fly in our fighters.
Where were you flying?
We were flying in Germany, and we were flying F-86s. And they would come over and do the same maneuvers that we make, except every once in a while one of them would go zip. And you just can't do that in a fighter, it's a conventional fighter. Well, yeah, they weren't just random. They were flying fighter formations, very definitely under positive control. They're just typical saucer shape, double lenticular shape, metallic looking. I think they were definitely piloted vehicles, each one with the pilot in it, and very definitely in communication with one another, because they would have flights of more than 4. They'd have flights of maybe 12 or 16, and when they make a turn, they'd cross the flights in under, and they had to be in communication. But this time I was involved in the research and development and doing very classified programs myself, at the test center. So I knew that we didn't have any vehicles of that kind, and I was 99 9/10% sure that the Russians didn't have any of that type either. So there certainly was, at that point in time, there was no doubt in my mind that this vehicle was made at some other place than here on Earth. In my opinion, I think they were worried that it would panic the public if they knew that someone had vehicles that had this kind of performance way back right after World War II, period of time. So they started telling lies about it. And then I think they had to cover another lie, tell another lie to cover their first lie, and now they don't know how to get out of it. Now it's going to be so embarrassing to admit that all these administrations have told a lot of untruths that it's going to be embarrassing to get out of it.